Italian Wine Podcast. Chin Chin with Italian Wine People.
Hi everybody! Italian Wine Podcast celebrates its 4th anniversary this year, and we all love the great content they put out every day. Chin Chin with Italian Wine People has become a big part of our day, and the team in Verona needs to feel our love. Producing the show is not easy, folks. Herding all those hosts, getting the interviews, dropping the clubhouse recordings, not to mention editing all the material. Let's give them a tangible fan hug with a contribution to all their costs. Head to ItalianWinePodcast.com and click donate to show your love.
Hello, this is the Italian Wine Podcast. My name is Monty Waldin. My guest today is Luana Monterosso, who is the export manager at Cantina Bortolomiol. Have I got that right?
Bortolomiol. Hi, hello everybody.
There we go. I've got my syllables. Anyway, how long have you been export manager there?
So I've been export manager in Bortolomiol for the last 3 years and a half now. Yeah. So I basically deal with all the international markets. Of course, my main focus is sales, but also promoting the brand all over the world.
Okay, give us the history of the estate first and foremost.
Yes, perfect. So Bortolomiol is one of the historical Prosecco producers. We are located in Valdobbiadene, so in Veneto region. Bortolomiol mainly produce Prosecco Superiore DOCG. We have different style of Prosecco Superiore DOCG, and also a little part of our production is dedicated to Prosecco DOCG Treviso. Just to give you some details about the history, the winery was founded by Giuliano Bortolomiol in 1949. Of course, Giuliano was born into a vine-growing family tradition, started in the 18th century. I can say that Giuliano was a very important personality in Valdobbiadene. At that time, when he was a young man, the Second World War came to an end. And of course, a lot of vineyards were destroyed by the war. So Giuliano's main mission was to help the farmers in restore those vineyards. And his dream was, of course, to elevate Prosecco. And the idea was to make Prosecco a prestigious sparkling wine, a wine known throughout the world. Today, the winery is managed by Giuliano's family. So we have his wife, Ottavia, and their 4 daughters. All the Bortolomiol women, they play different roles in the management of the winery. And this is very important since it's a family company. It's also a female family. And it's important to say that they always pay attention to the tradition. So they respect tradition started by Giuliano. But on the other side, I can say that they really invest in resources, energy, and also in order to ensure the product quality and a lot of investing in sustainability.
Just when you talk about Giuliano, he was very important in terms of Prosecco, not just in terms of sales, but also on the technical side when he studied winemaking when he was younger. Why was he so important?
So Giuliano was very important personality in the production area because Giuliano Bortolomiol was the first producer of the area to reduce the sugar level in the Prosecco style. He created the first Brut Prosecco, and the idea was to make Prosecco more appealing to the international market, and so to create a more modern style in the Prosecco category. Actually, it was very right, since today the most sold category of Prosecco all over the world is the Brut style. So with lower residual sugar.
Okay. I mean, what's your personal choice? Is if I come round for dinner, what would you serve me? Which wine would you serve me with food?
Okay, so speaking about Bortolomiol wines, for sure I will introduce our flagship wine. Our flagship wine is Grande Cuvée del Fondatore. This is Rive, so it's a single vineyard Prosecco Superiore DOCG. And the name of the rive is San Pietro di Barbozza. In Valdobbiadene area, we have, in all the Prosecco Superiore DOCG area, we have in total 43 rive. And I can say the Rive is the best expression of the territory. It really identifies the wine with the land and the place where it came from. And so in terms of our wine, so Grande Cuvée del Fondatore, I can say this is the residual sugar is 0, so it's a bone dry Prosecco. So it's a single vineyard, Glera grape, 100%. We don't do any blend, and only, of course, we take all the Glera grape coming from this single vineyard. It's a very important wine also in terms of the second fermentation process. I can say it's a very long Charmat, and we are speaking about 10 months in contact with the yeast in the tank, of course, since it's a Charmat method. Just in terms of vinification process, in the time of the contact with the yeast, we do 1 bâtonnage per day. This is done during the first month, and then 2 bâtonnages per week from the 2nd to the 10th month. Speaking about the tasting notes, it's very fresh. It has a lot of hints of green apple, spiciness like thyme, oregano, sometimes also bread crust, since, due to the long contact with the yeast. I can say it's a very clean and persistent Prosecco. And we can say that on one side, you have all the freshness and the fruitiness of the Prosecco style. And on the other side, we have these yeasty flavors, very, very delicate.
So if I was going to ask you to describe, say, 3 or 4 Proseccos from the company, and I'd like one of them for food, one of them as a sort of celebration wine, one as an everyday wine, and then one other one of your choice, which wines would you choose?
Yeah, perfect. Thank you for the question. So, of course, the Grande Cuvée del Fondatore, which I just mentioned, I will say it goes very well with food. So food pairing will be ideal, since you can pair a lot of different dishes from veggies, but also to more important dishes. Let's say a risotto, for example, or pasta. It's very delicate, but it has a very good body as well. So it balances very well all the ingredients of the dish. And speaking about an everyday Prosecco, very versatile, modern style, I can speak about Prior Prosecco Superiore DOCG. This is part of our Tradizionali collection. In this collection, we have different Prosecco Superiore according to the residual sugar. In particular, Prior is a Brut style with 8 grams of residual sugar, 100% Glera, and is also vintage Prosecco. I can say Prior is our best seller because it's very versatile. You can have a glass of Prior by itself. You can pair with aperitif or also at the restaurant with a lot of different dishes. Just a curiosity about the name, Prior in the Italian language means the first. Actually, is a Latin word, and it means the first, since I first mentioned that Giuliano was the first producer of the area to create the Brut style of Prosecco. So that's why we dedicate this wine to Giuliano. Going to another wine, which is more historic wine, and I can say more for celebration Prosecco. I can say Banda Rossa. Banda Rossa is again Prosecco Superiore DOCG. This time is extra dry, so with a little bit more of residual sugar. We are speaking about 18 grams per liter. This is the traditional style of Prosecco. Banda Rossa is a very elegant, very complex, and what best characterizes Banda Rossa is the fruity and flower aspect, and also the creaminess. So on one side you have this huge minerality that of course comes from the terroir, but you also have the creaminess coming from the contact with the yeast. Banda Rossa, again, is an Italian name, and it is a very historic wine for us, since Banda Rossa means red band or red line. So I will explain the meaning of that. So in the past, Giuliano used to select the best expression of extra dry Prosecco, and he stock in his cellar all these beautiful expression of Prosecco. He didn't want to sell juice Prosecco. So instead, he wanted to share these beautiful wines with friends, with closest friends and family. And so from that reason, he just signed with a red pencil each bottle, just to make sure they were stocked and saved for this occasion. So after many years, the family decided to dedicate a label on some selections of Glera grape. And so Banderossa was born by the selection of the best Glera grapes in 20 different vineyards in Valdobbiadene. So the last wine, if I can choose a wine for myself, for sure I will go with the organic Prosecco Superiore. So, we are a sustainable winery, but we also have an organic certified Prosecco Superiore. This is called Jus Naturae, which is like natural law. This is very important for us. It's a Brut style Prosecco, limited production. So we are speaking about 16,000 bottles per year. And I will choose that because it is the best expression of the traditional flavors of the land of Valdobbiadene. But it's also very, crispy. It has a lot of minerality and a lot of, tropical fruits sometimes. Yeah, I think it has a great minerality, which goes very well with all the occasions.
Do you think the company will slowly move more of its vineyards to organics or not?
So actually, we have just 5 hectares of vineyard which have been converted into organic growing system, and it was in 2008. 2 of these hectares of vineyard are located in Valdobbiadene inside our park, which is called the Parco della Filandetta. Maybe I can explain later about that. The idea to be completely certified organic is not something that is in our project, since it's very, very hard to reach. The area in Valdobbiadene is, there are a lot of little vineyards, little plot of vineyards, they are all close to each other. So it's almost impossible to convert all the appellation into organic. So before being certified organic in the total of our production, the appellation, I think, should be, should reach the certification for in the total. So that's why. But for sure, we are following our sustainability projects, and the idea is to get the winery certified with other certification into the sustainability management. This is something that we will do for sure.
When you do the sustainability, when you're going along the sustainability track, are there economic advantages as well of going that way or not? Does it cost more to be sustainable?
So on one side, it costs more in terms of investment. So for sure, the starting point is expensive in terms of invest in the new technologies, for example, the solar panel system or water purifying machine, all the technologies that you need in order to convert your winery in a sustainable management. But of course, after, in terms of saving energy, saving also time and all the other resources, it will be more convenient for everybody, for sure. So this is just the starting point with, more investment to do. But then you will have, more easy way also to, in a kind of lifestyle, be sustainable is not just something that you do for business, it's something that you do for, human health, to be respectful for the environment around you, and also to respect the land where we come from, which is everything, I think.
Okay, you invite me for dinner at your house, and you have to choose 3 Prosecco wines and 3 dishes. What would you choose?
Okay, good. So I think we'll start with some raw fish, because it's my, the ideal way to start for me. So some raw dishes with the Grande Cuvée del Fondatore. It's a bone dry Prosecco, so as I said before, it doesn't overwhelm, the dish. So it just respects the balance of the ingredients. So I will go for that. Then for sure, a risotto. Risotto is one of the best dishes for me. I love risotto in all the variety that you can have. For sure, we can have a risotto with basil. So basil and Prosecco as well, risotto. And I will pair that with the Use Nature Organic Prosecco Superiore DOCG from Bortolomiol. And I think we will end with a dessert. Why not? In a sweet way. So dessert, maybe something like, just like a chocolate mousse with some berries, like strawberries and berries, etc., and paired with our cartizze. Cartizze, is a cru area in Valdobbiadene. It's just the 108 hectares of vineyards. It is called, it's considered a cru area, the top quality for Prosecco Superiore DOCG. Here, the land is very steep, and also glera grapes are rich in natural sugars. And we produce cartizze in dry style. So it's a kind of sweet Prosecco, but never too much, never too sticky. It has a very good minerality going through. So it's very well balanced wine. And I will finish the meal with cartizze for sure.
In terms of sales, how important is the domestic market to you?
Well, the domestic market is very, very important. Bortolomiol is one of the historical producers of Prosecco Superiore. So Italy, of course, is very, very important. I can say that 70% of our sales goes to Italy, and the 30% in the export markets. In terms of international markets, we are present in about 54 countries all over the world. So some of these countries are more historical, of course, in terms of a long tradition and the countries where we start exporting our wines. They are in Europe, so Germany, Switzerland, but also Austria. And for sure, other important countries for us are Russia, Ukraine, and Hungary. These three are very important in terms of volumes, for sure.
Hey guys, this is a brief intermission to give a shout out to our new sponsor, Ferro Wine, the largest wine store in Italy since 1920. We are delighted to have them on board and thank them for their generous support and our new t-shirts. Find out more on ItalianWinePodcast.com. Now back to the show.
Which is the hardest market to in terms of pricing? Which is the most competitive?
Well, in general, the most difficult market for us, for Bortolomiol, for sure, is China. I will not say in terms of prices, actually, but just in terms of brand awareness. China is very, very difficult since you need a lot of communication to do. You need to invest in communication, in social media marketing in a different way. China is completely different from all the other countries. But I think there is a huge potential, not only for Prosecco, but in general for Italian wine producer. I think that Italy at the moment is only the 6% in value for the total import in China. So there is a huge potential, to explore. So I think China will be, is the difficult one, but also the country with more potential for us. So in general, also Asia, Asian countries where we are trying to focusing our communication, but also our, strategies, commercial strategies. And among the focus, at the moment we are focusing not only in China and the Asian countries, but also United States, where we are trying to, promote more the brands and increase the brand awareness in this market.
So how do you go about brand differentiation in America, for example? What do you have to do to stand out?
In America, for sure, we work with a non-national importer, but we prefer to go on each state by itself, So we started from California, we went to Washington State as well, New York, now Miami. So we are trying to focusing on each state because they are so different, completely different. Not this, the same communication strategy, the same commercial strategies. It doesn't work for all the states. For sure, you have to improve your visibility. And I think the social media, they really help the winery to communicate more the values, the history, and also the quality of the product. But this is the base for all the markets, just to invest in the communication. And I think that in terms of communication, we need to invest in consumer education. This is very important to raise awareness. If we want to communicate quality, if we want to communicate values, we need to address to the final consumers. And I think that also last year, the pandemic situation with all the bad things that bring, of course, gave us the possibility to invest more in our social media presence and also in the communication with the digital instruments.
Interesting. Yeah, very competitive, the US, obviously. And what about emerging markets for you?
Among emerging markets, I would say Africa. So we started in South Africa with an import company there. They are very, very good. They're doing a very good job, also in terms of communication. And in general, Africa is an emerging market for us. So we are trying to, find the best way to enter in other states in Africa, but also the Middle East. So these two big areas, I think they are more emerging for us, and we are focusing for our future ambition. What is important for us, apart from which market you choose to enter in, is to establish a very strong relationship with the importer. I always say that we don't have clients all over the world, but we do have partners we work with. This is something important. If you want to build the brand, you have to build the relationship first with your importer. The importer is very important for you, not only in terms of sales, but in terms of promoting the wine and also help you identifying the best way, to enter the market and to promote in the wine. So that's also why we try to be present in the markets. Not in the last year, for sure, but we usually try to be personally present there in order to support our partners with market visit, for example, wine tasting events, but also staff training, educational activities, which are, of course, fundamental.
So when you're training people, what are the typical questions that they ask you? What do they don't understand about Prosecco that they want you to help them get clear in their minds exactly what the brand values are and also the technical side?
Yeah, sure. This is a good question. Actually, the first question they ask me is the production area. They know what is Prosecco in general. They know about sparkling white wine from Italy, but they don't know exactly the production area and the category inside Prosecco wine. So I always try to start by speaking about the production area and the diversification between the DOC appellation, the DOCG, and all there is inside the DOCG appellation. For example, Cartizze or Rive, and all the selection. So this is my starting point. Make people aware about different style inside Prosecco category. Usually the general idea is that Prosecco is a sparkling wine and it's from Italy, maybe Veneto region, good minerality, a little bit sugar, but there is not a lot of knowledge, about. So this is important for us in terms of explaining where we come from. And this is important because also all our wines reflect the terroir, but also they reflect techniques, vinification techniques, and you have different styles inside. What is important as well are all the elements that characterize Prosecco Superiore DOCG. So just briefly, it's important to address the attention to the location. So this area, which is like hilly region, So it's a mountain hill region, and it has a perfect location. It's located between the Dolomites on one side and the Adriatic Sea on the other. So all these beautiful elements which create the microclimate, which is perfect for wine growing. And, all the soils composition as well, the elevation, the exposition to the sun, all the elements that characterize and give quality to Prosecco Superiore from Conegliano and Valdobbiadene.
What is the question that you most get asked when you're traveling about the Prosecco region? Are people clear about the grape variety or the topography or the soil types or the winemaking aspect?
Well, I think they are aware about the vinification process. So they know that the Charmat method is different from the Champagne method. So they know about that. What they actually, they asked me is to explain the difference between Prosecco DOCG and Prosecco DOCG. This is, the first question they asked me. So just to give you them the elements of authenticity. So what are which are the characteristics of DOCG, which are the characteristics of DOCG. And so in this time, I really stress the importance of all the conformation of the land, the soil composition, the elevation, and all these elements which highlight the diverse expressions of Conegliano Valdobbiadene as well. And they also are curious about Cartizze and Rive. Cartizze, of course, is most known, A lot of people know about Cartizze area. They know about the premium quality of this wine. But speaking about Rive, this is more, new appellation. And they are very interested in knowing more about the characteristic of Rive, why it's so important and why it differs from all the other expression of Prosecco. And in these terms, I always say that, Rive have been selected for to be the best expression of a single terroir, and they are basically single vineyards located on the best steep slopes of the DOCG area, and they differ from the combination of soil, from exposition, and microclimate as well.
Yeah, the Rive idea is it's a great idea for the region. I think it's a way of creating a conversation, I guess. Yeah,
for sure. It gives you something to be different, and to elevate your Prosecco style, and also to go deeply in knowing more about the quality. Sometimes people, not a lot of people have been in the place, in the area, so they didn't see all the steep slopes of these vineyards. And so it is almost impossible to understand the difficulty as well of harvest those vineyards. For example, it is also important to say that Rive, they are very, very steep, and everything is made by hand. So no machine. We cannot bring machine in the vineyards. And this, of course, increase the quality and the value of the Prosecco that you produce there. Just to give you a takeaway here, it has been calculated to be 600 hours of work in 1 year in the Prosecco Superiore area, which is very, very much.
Yeah, that's what it's kind of. It's funny that people see Prosecco in general as a sort of a mass market product, but when you talk about the Rive, as you said, about this sort of handmade wines, people almost don't believe you, yeah?
Yes, correct. As I said before, the general idea is that Prosecco is just a sparkling wine, But Prosecco, of course, we all know is a lifestyle, is also, conviviality. It puts different cultures together around the same table, we can say. But people have to understand that Prosecco includes many, many elements. Includes soils, families, people, history, a different terroir, wine grower efforts. Prosecco is very versatile, of course. It's approachable. It's a very international appealing style. Everybody knows Prosecco. But what is to do here is to explore what is behind Prosecco category, So what is Prosecco Superiore DOCG? Why you find Prosecco Superiore DOCG to be expensive, more expensive than Prosecco DOC? This is something that we stress about. So, when we describe our wines, we always make sure to start speaking about the territory. This is our identity, is who we are. And, we try to respect our history, our tradition. And by saying that, we use as well Rive and Cartizze to let them know that we produce single vineyards, that we produce selections of Prosecco, and that we can speak about authenticity and quality as well in the Prosecco category.
Okay, final question. You're having dinner this evening with a friend or whoever in a restaurant. What would be your ideal Prosecco and your ideal dish?
Okay, so can I say always about Prosecco Bortolomiol?
Sì, yeah.
Okay, perfect. So, as I said before, risotto. All the kind of risotto with all the ingredients. So can be asparagus, can be radicchio, can be basil as well. So very, very simple. So or risotto. Yeah.
Funghi?
Oh, funghi as well. Why not? In the base season, So according to the season, we can choose a different risotto style for sure. And I will pair with the Use Natura organic. It's not just because organic, it's a popular trend, but I really can say that this is a wine, it's a Prosecco that really express the territory and give you, the typical freshness of Valdobbiadene area, but it gives you also all the Mediterranean spices. So you really feel the Italian style. And so, risotto paired with a glass of Use Natura Prosecco Superiore DOCG.
We did actually agree a fee to mention organics for the last part of the interview. I'm joking. It's interesting that you choose the organic one, but that wasn't rehearsed, by the way. So, you've been a great interviewee, by the way. You've explained the intricacies of Prosecco very, very clearly. And you are obviously very, very good at your job, and you seem to really love your job as well. And you brought the region to life today, and it's been really lovely hearing you. And we'll get you back again, I'm sure, at some stage on the podcast. Keep up the good work.
Thank you very much. This is right. I love my job. This is a passion, for me, and I think it's so beautiful work in the wine business. So everybody working in the wine business, I think is very happy to do. So thank you for the interview, for the introduction, for this possibility to speak about Bortolomiol and Prosecco Superiore DOCG in general. Of course, I invite everybody to come to Valdobbiadene to visit us in our Parco della Filandetta in Valdobbiadene.
Perfetto. Thanks very much.
Thank you very much.
Listen to the Italian Wine Podcast wherever you get your podcasts. We're on SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Himalaya FM, and more. Don't forget to subscribe and rate the show. If you enjoy listening, please consider donating through ItalianWinePodcast.com. Any amount helps cover equipment, production, and publication costs. Until next time, cin cin.